You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we break out best dressed in glass slippers as Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella comes to the 4 states.
And the McDonald County School District showcases its students' love for reading and passion for literature with a Disney-themed lunch.
And we've got alert days for today into tomorrow as we're dealing with some heavy rain and some flooding concerns. We'll break down that full forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. One woman and a teen are hospitalized following a Wednesday morning shooting in Springdale, Arkansas. Authorities received a call of a woman banging on their door saying she had been shot in the arm, and when officers arrived, they were told the alleged shooter was inside a car nearby. Authorities say when they inspected the car, there was a man lying in the car. When asked to show his hands, he got up and pointed a weapon at one of the officers. They say that's when the officer shot the suspect in the head, who was a teen. He and the woman were both taken to the hospital, and police say the teen's injuries are life-threatening. 3 police officers are recovering from injuries following an overnight shooting that happened while a search warrant was being served. A standoff followed, and that came to an end yesterday afternoon as well. Kansas City, Missouri Police Department stated the officers suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries, and police had knocked on the door and announced their presence, and SWAT officers then attempted to enter the home but were shot at. The standoff ended around 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. Authorities in Galena, Kansas arrest a Carthage, Missouri man. On March 1st, Galena police officers were dispatched to the area of 4th and Main due to reports of a male subject attempting to get into vehicles. During questioning, the suspect fled on foot, and after a brief chase on foot, he was taken into custody. It was discovered he had also stolen items while inside the Casey's earlier that morning. He's being held in the Cherokee County Jail for 2 counts of attempted burglary of a vehicle, theft, and interference with law enforcement. Additional drug-related charges were later added once it was discovered that he had drug paraphernalia and fentanyl on him. And a Kansas City man learns his fate for robbing a bank in Joplin back in 2021. On Wednesday, a judge sentenced 59-year-old Leland Scott Graham to 8 years in federal prison without parole. Graham pled guilty to 1 count of bank robbery back in August of 2022. And according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Graham admitted to stealing $24,478 from the Great Southern Bank in Joplin on July 19, 2021. Graham still has state charges pending in a Lewisburg robbery from the same day. A federal court hands down sentencing to a former Missouri state representative for a nearly $900,000 COVID-19 fraud scheme. Authorities say Tricia Ashton Durgis, who is 64 years old from Nixa, Missouri, stole almost $900,000 as well as a separate $200,000 fraud scheme. On Wednesday, Durgis was sentenced in Springfield, Missouri to 6 years, 3 months in federal prison without parole. The court also ordered Durgis to pay $500,000 in restitution to the victims. If you'd like to read more about this story, you can head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. A Southwest Missouri man accepts a plea deal to lessen his sentence in the case of a crash that killed 2 people. In June of 2018, authorities say Victor Alanis of Nixa was driving on Highway 60 at Route M in Newton County when he turned into the path of a motorcycle. Both motorcycle occupants died as a result of the crash, and a urine analysis showed Alanis was under the influence of cannabis. Alanis pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree involuntary manslaughter. He is sentenced to 2 4-year terms that will run at the same time and a shock therapy program for 120 days. On Wednesday, a Joplin and Webb City, Missouri man is indicted by a federal grand jury for drug trafficking and illegally possessing firearms. Authorities say Mylan Alexander possessed fentanyl, methamphetamine, and cocaine, all with the intent to distribute. Alexander is also charged with being a felon in possession of firearms.
Well, we've got ourselves alert days for today and tomorrow, and here's why. We've got flood watches. Lawrence, Berry, Newton, McDonald, Benton, and Delaware counties. They kick in this evening and run through noon tomorrow. We also have the possibility of a stray strong storm or two. That is a very low end isolated tornado risk well to our southeast. If we see any stronger storms, some small hail and perhaps gusty winds are the primary threats along with those storms. And you can see that that risk is really right along and south of I-44, hence where the flood watches are, and that's where we're going to see our heaviest rain. All of us getting in on shower and thunderstorm activity, again, the heaviest along and south of I-44. We'll have the opportunity for a few stray showers and thunderstorms early this afternoon across the region. And you can see where those chances kind of pick up. And then they drop back off, and then later this evening and overnight, they ramp back up as the main batch of showers and thunderstorms rolls through the area. So here's a look at some of those stray showers. Again, maybe a rumble of thunder or two out there as we head into the early afternoon. We get long enough pause that we will actually warm up a bit, and then as we head into the evening, that's when we'll see additional showers, thunderstorms, and heavy rainfall develop across the area, and then we'll see additional development over across southeast Kansas early tomorrow morning. There's the possibility of a brief transition to maybe some light snow. We're not expecting much more than maybe a dusting, but do be aware there could be some slick spots. But the biggest concern again is the flooding. So if you live in those flood-prone areas, make sure you turn around, don't drown, and plan your evening commute and your morning commute tomorrow accordingly, as we could be dealing with some low water crossings that could be underwater. On top of all of that, we're dealing with wind gusts through today, tonight, tomorrow morning of 20 to 30 miles an hour. But as we head into tomorrow evening, those will eventually calm down. We do have a decent start to today, but again, we've got those big changes on the way. We'll take a look at your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The McDonald County School District showcases its students' love for reading and passion for literature with a Gateway Luncheon. The luncheon is designed to celebrate various cultures at McDonald County High School and recognize the hard work of students who have read at least 5 of the Gateway Award books. Now, Gateway books are nominated by Missouri students, librarians, and teachers as some of the best books out there. The student interests are important when finding a book for them to enjoy.
I know that sometimes it takes a while. I'll sit down with a student and ask them questions. What do you like? What do you watch on television? What are your interests? And then I'll pull sometimes 10 books off the shelf and have them sit down and go through those books. And if something catches their attention, I say, then that's what you need to read.
This year was a Disney themed event. It featured special guest speakers and performers and surprise visits from Gateway authors. Well, Southeast Kansas Arts Group is getting set for its production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. The Cherokee County Arts Association is putting on the play. On Wednesday, they hosted a media night. The show is for all ages and features more than 40 performers ranging from 4 years old to 67.
It's actually been a challenge, in all honesty. So I've done other princesses. I've been Ariel, I've been Jasmine, and it's fun, but it's a really hard challenge for me because I'm very outgoing and I'm very loud, and Cinderella's not that. She's very innocent and quiet.
I'm feeling good. It's definitely a different departure from different roles I've played in the past, but to play a prince and play this like upright kind of role, it's definitely a new thing, but it's really exciting.
Alex looks good as a prince there. You can catch the show at the James C. Christian Performing Arts Center in Galena on Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday at 2:30. Kansas biologists spot a rare species often not seen in the state. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks reported on social media that its biologists captured photos of an eastern spotted skunk in the state. Organization has been searching for signs of this elusive species through the use of trail cameras and sardine baits. The species used to be common in many areas of the U.S., but it has declined since the 1940s. And this is due to factors such as habitat and resource use change. Now, this cute but elusive skunk is protected by the Kansas Non-Game and Endangered Species Conservation Act. Several counties in Kansas, including Wilson, Woodson, Labette, and Montgomery counties, contain critical habitats for the skunk. Well, coming up, Chef Anthony joins us in studio to teach us how to make a delicious variation on crab cakes, just in time to take a trip to Bikini Bottom.
And later, we're going to take you to Caney, Kansas, where some Eagle Scouts are preserving the town's history. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We've got alert days for today and tomorrow with flooding concerns across the area. We have flood watches for Delaware, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Berry, and Lawrence counties. They all kick in this evening and run through noon tomorrow. We're also watching the possibility of a strong storm or two. And as you can see, there's a very low-end isolated tornado risk, but that's well to our southeast for the most part. Any strong storms we see could produce some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds. And you see that threat is right along and south of I-44. That's where those flood watches are, and that is where the heaviest rain is expected, as we're anticipating thunderstorms just kind of develop and then train over these same areas. Now, all of us will get in on shower and thunderstorm activity, so all of us getting much needed rain. It's just those in our southeastern counties getting a little too much in too little time. We'll have the chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the early afternoon. Those chances then quickly taper off, and we get a break before the main system gets here later this evening and overnight, bringing us much more rain. So let's take a look at it on the future track. Here come those scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. Nothing significant there. But then as we head into this evening and overnight, we'll see more development of more showers, thunderstorms, and heavy rainfall. And you see where they continue to train right along and south of I-44. Then we'll see additional development over southeast Kansas early tomorrow morning, say around 2, 3 o'clock, and maybe even a transition to some light snow. Not anticipating much in the way of the snow, but could lead to a few slick spots out there. But again, the biggest concern is the flooding. So if your commute takes you through a flood-prone area, or if you know that you're in a flood-prone area, be prepared and remember, turn around, don't drown. On top of that, non-thunderstorm wind gusts through today, tonight, and into tomorrow morning of 20 to 30 miles an hour. But as we get into tomorrow evening and that system moves away, those winds will start to die down for us. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line looks good. Same with that sunrise, 7th and range line looks great. 39 in Joplin, feeling like 32 with the northeast breeze at 12. It is a chilly start for some of us this morning. 35 Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, 42 Miami, Neosho, and 39 in Carthage. We get our day started. We're mostly cloudy, we're breezy. We'll eventually make it into the lower 50s with those showers. Scattered showers and storms again through the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, breezy. Highs in the mid to upper 50s across the area. Tonight, more widespread showers, thunderstorms, the winds gusting, and of course that heavy rain, and we'll eventually make it down to a low of 40. However, I wanted to show you the weekend at least. Look at this, 61, 66, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, so pretty pleasant. 71 Monday, and then we see showers building in, and as those showers build in, our temperatures unfortunately start to fall back into the 50s. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Welcome back. Okay, so earlier this morning we told you that Pittsburgh High School is about to put on a production of SpongeBob the Musical. That'll be next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And this morning we are making crab cakes with Chef Anthony and one of his students, Anna Osmond. Yes.
How are you doing this morning, Tanya?
I'm doing great.
Good. So I like this recipe because you can use salmon, you can use tuna, you can use canned chicken, you can use crab, whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you have available, you can use this. The important stuff is all right here.
Okay.
So we're going to start with some mayonnaise.
So if you're not a fan of crab meat, then you could easily, or you can't find it for some reason,
Yes.
then you could easily just shred up some chicken breast or something.
Yeah, you can shred up some chicken breast, whatever you have, and kind of just move everything along. We're going to add some breadcrumbs.
I'm going to pull up your sleeves a little bit for you. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
And then we're going to add, just because it's for you, Tanya, and because you know how I like mine
Ooh,
and stuff.
getting a little spicy here, yeah.
We're going to add some crushed red pepper. Put a little bit of that back because I always tend to get a little excited with the crushed red pepper. And then we're going to add a little bit of black pepper. Yoink. Right there, that's it.
Okay.
Now we want a little bit of color, right? We don't want it to just stay kind of absent in color. So let's add some dried parsley
Okay.
for some color.
It doesn't really add too much flavor, just the...
It adds a nice little variation of color to it just to kind of give you a little bit more inside of it. And then
More
we're going
texture.
to add,
Your favorite seasoning?
yeah, smoked onion and jalapeno. And we're just going to lay that right in there like that. And then we're just going to mix for a little bit and get it all nice and combined real well. And we've decided to go with something along the crab cakes because of the SpongeBob musical, which is going to be exciting. I love watching the theater perform. The very first play I ever saw from Pittsburgh was She Kills Dragons.
Okay.
That was a wonderful story, and it had been a long time since I had been involved or even seen a high school play, and it just got me hooked. And I go all the time now.
Fitting, since mascot at Pittsburgh High School is dragons.
Yes. But they do, I love this, when they did Big Fish last semester, and I love that story all the way around. You are who you want to be. So you just have to manifest, and that's how it went. And Anna's getting everything all mixed up nice and beautiful for us. Now we're gonna add half of a lemon. We're gonna squeeze it right in there, and I'm just gonna squeeze it right through Anna's hand there so that she can catch any seeds like that one that want to fall off.
That's a good idea.
And she can put that lemon right back into the lemon itself, or that seed right in the lemon, and just keep on mixing, getting everything very well combined.
How much chicken did we start with to put this?
2 pounds.
Or crab, or
whatever you do, you
decide
need
to
about
use.
2 pounds worth of meat.
2 pounds. Is it okay to use like canned meat?
Yes.
For this? You just need to drain it really well?
You need to drain it really well. The only one that doesn't work real well for this is Spam. But if you were to run Spam through your food processor so you get it shredded, would be awesome in this.
Okay.
So you just have to find something that you can get to a shredded consistency.
Yeah, because it's kind of like more granular.
Yes.
Spam when you.
And this is a wonderful little recipe. It's super simple. As you can see, the ingredients are all right here, and it's not taking very long.
Okay.
The hardest part of this is putting it into the refrigerator for 15 minutes to chill.
All right, so we've got to chill this for 15 minutes, and that's about the exact time we're going to come back, and then we're going to fry up our crab cakes.
Yep. Anna's going to show you how to do it.
All right, looking forward to that. We'll be right back.
The Caney Valley Historical Society in Kansas wants to preserve and showcase some of the historical equipment from the city.
KOAM's Yana Tula talked with some of the residents putting their work into the project.
The Caney Valley Historical Society wants to promote the city's history by having some items outside the museum, one of them being the city's fire department's hose reel.
The resident that had this hose cart for about the last 40 years, it was in her backyard, and she decided it was time for it to go. So, and of course we accepted.
The society partnered with Eagle Scouts to help build a cover to protect the items in the display. Roy Schaefer, Scoutmaster of Troop 3, helped rescue the hose reel, which is going to be placed under the cover one of his scouts, Braden Caldwell, is going to build.
It started out as a covering for the wagon, the rail wagon. And then when this came into existence, we discovered it and got a chance to have it. We thought it was time to expand it. So we've about doubled the size.
Since the size expanded, the Scouts are looking to raise money to build the cover. Schaefer says this kind of project shows what the young Scouts can accomplish in their leadership project.
They can form a plan. They can get approval for the plan. They can help raise the money if that's necessary. They can organize their people, their friends and their troop and the town people to help with, and then they can document all this because it's a very big experience in life skills.
Once the display is finished, the Historical Society will have signage to explain where the items came from.
People can see that and appreciate what was at one time was a popular item. It was the only item at that time for that function.
In Caney, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Now, organizers hope to finish in time for the city's May Fest at the end of May.
All right, looks like a good project for one of those scouts to earn their Eagle Scout.
Absolutely, and as they said, it's great life skills and a lot of great learning skills here.
All right.
We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. The Joplin School District is making plans to test the safety of drinking water in all of its school buildings. Joplin School Board approved $400,000 for lead testing in the school's water. This decision follows a statewide mandate signed into law by Governor Mike Parson last summer, which requires all public school districts to conduct lead testing and install filters if lead concentrations exceed a certain threshold. Missouri Water Works provides water for the district and has found no trace of lead in the newer buildings.
So there's zero trace of lead in the water coming into the building. So we know for a fact we're not going to have to filter any water coming into the building.
School district also is exploring the possibility of working with surrounding districts to get a deal on lead testing with existing companies. One man in Chautauqua, Kansas says he's in desperate need of transportation for medical appointments. KanCare offers medical benefits like transportation to and from doctor appointments. KanCare has a state contract with Yellow Transportation to transport patients. However, some patients are reporting that Yellow Transportation is leaving them stranded after their appointment.
Yeah, I'm afraid to call and go up there and get any kind of test done or, looked at, because I don't want to get stranded again. I mean, they might not want to help me the next time.
KOAM reached out to Yellow Transportation and KanCare, but we have not yet received a response.
And we've got ourselves an alert day for today and into tomorrow for flooding concerns. Flood watches, Delaware, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Berry, and Lawrence counties kick in this evening, running through noon tomorrow. There's also the possibility of a stray strong storm or two. There's a very low-end isolated risk for a tornado down well to our southeast. If we do see any stronger storms, some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds would be the primary threats. But take a look at where these marks are, right along and south of I-44. That's where our flood watches are. That's where we're going to see the heaviest rainfall as well. All of us, though, will get in on showers and thunderstorms as we go through the day. In fact, we could even see a few showers and thunderstorms as we head into the early afternoon across the area. And those chances will break for a moment before the main system gets here later this evening and overnight tonight. We're also going to be dealing with winds gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour today, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. Right now, though, we're not bad. MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline looks good. Few passing clouds out there. 39 in Joplin, feeling like 32 with a northeast wind at 12. Quick look at temperatures around the region. We got 34 Iola, 41 Chautauqua, 42 Miami, Neosho, and 39 in Carthage. As we go through our morning, we'll have those gusty winds, increasing clouds to the point where mostly cloudy, then maybe some isolated showers by 11 and making it up to the lower 50s. We'll have another look at your forecast here in just a few minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Drug maker Eli Lilly announces a series of price cuts that would lower the price of the most commonly used forms of its insulin by 70%, saying the move will automatically cap out-of-pocket insulin costs at $35 for people who have private insurance and use participating pharmacies. Melissa Rainey has more on what this means for millions of Americans with diabetes.
Promising news for more than 37 million Americans living with diabetes. Drug maker Eli Lilly announced price cuts to lower the cost on commonly used forms of its insulin.
Lilly's going to buy down all of our customers' out-of-pocket cost to $35 at the pharmacy counter automatically.
The move lowers the price of its most popular used insulin by 70%. The company says it will also cut the list price of its non-branded insulin to $25 a vial, making it the lowest list-priced mealtime insulin available.
This is a culmination of about 7 years of work we've been doing to reduce the price of our insulins, launching a generic to our own best-selling brand. We think that should be the new standard in America.
The announcement comes a day after President Joe Biden said improving Americans' access to health care is a high priority in his proposed budget.
Insulin has been around for 100 years. The cost to make that drug and package it is make it $10 and package it $13. But you've been paying $300, $400, $500 a month for that. But big pharma's been unfairly charging you that much. Record profits. Not anymore.
Cost has been a problem for many Americans who are forced to ration their insulin. And the average price of the drug nearly tripled between 2002 and 2013, according to the American Diabetes Association. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Let's look at your top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. As Chef Anthony heads back into the test kitchen to finish up our crab cake variation dish in honor of SpongeBob the Musical.
And we are watching the potential for some flooding, especially along and south of I-44. We'll have another look at your full forecast coming up.
All right, you can hear the sizzle, and we started these crab cakes earlier this morning, about 15 minutes ago. I've been letting the dough, the batter, actually sit for about 15 minutes and chill, and now we're
ready
cooking
to cook.
our crab cakes. Now, these are actually made with a variation of meat, though.
Yes, we use chicken for these. We want to make sure that we can showcase how versatile this recipe is. So we're going to just use we're using chicken just to kind of show that. So what I've done is it's set for about 15 minutes, and you can see all the beautiful color inside of that crab cake. So you know you've got your flavors are dispersed inside very well. And there you go. So that you can kind of experience everything that goes along with them. Anna has 2 in the skillet already, just a little hot skillet with a little bit of oil in them. And she's getting a nice golden brown on the outside of them. And then...
About how long is it going to take to cook them? And I'm assuming you're kind of on a medium heat?
We're on a medium-high heat, and it's going to take just a few minutes for them to cook. They cook really quick. And it depends, well, cooking time depends on how thick you make them. So, and I always like to...
Ooh, that was good.
I always like to make them just a little thin so that you can eat them fast. And you can sit and crank them out for the family, because once you start cooking them, the family's going to want to eat them. So.
Anna, have you ever ate anything like this before?
I don't think so. I learned all kinds of new things in culinary club.
Yeah, you guys experiment with different ingredients and different recipes and.
Well, they're also going through officer interviews right now. So they're doing, each person who's applying for an officer position has to do a project. So senior officers have different projects that they're working on, and some are wanting to work on social media, and some are wanting to work on special projects. Last night, everything was organized by 2 club members, and they made an apple pie pasta. And they used Granny Smith apples to make an apple velouté to go over the top of it, and it was so good.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Oh, you guys had a big fundraiser last Saturday at Panda Express. How did that go?
We did really well. We raised about $1,400.
Wow, that's good.
So it went very nice. The kids were out, they had fun. A couple of my theater students were dressed up as our club mascot, which is an inflatable chicken. And of course our school mascot, the dragon. And we're out there dancing on the side of the road and having a good old time. It was well worth it. We always have fun when we do events.
Okay. So you guys are raising money to go on your big trip to Italy in 2 summers. So how many students do you have signed up for that so far?
My goal is 21, and we are currently sitting at 16.
Wow. And that's some students, some adults, or just so you can bring your parents if you want.
Yes, of course. Some students want to do it. Some families are wanting to do it as a bonding experience, and some are just wanting to go to get away.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at those beautiful.
Okay, which one? This one was one of the earlier ones, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try that one because it's hopefully cooled a little bit. Try that before we go to break. And remember, you can find this recipe with all those ingredients on our website later this morning at KOAMnewsnow.com. Trying out my crab cake.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Simple, easy to do, and you can crank these out for the whole family. If you just get a spur of the moment that you want to cook something, this is the recipe to do it with.
Oh, you put a lot of spice in that. I can taste that.
Not very much.
I can taste the pepper.
It's the lemon. The lemon helps enhance all that wonderful goodness. So we'll talk about that on another episode.
Okay. Any thoughts on what you guys are going to do next week?
I'm thinking let's take a trip to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, possibly.
A little late, but sure. I love Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras lasts all month.
We'll talk about that. We'll be right back after these messages.
We've got a couple of alert days for us because we've got flooding concerns tonight into tomorrow. Flood watches, Delaware, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Berry, and Lawrence counties kicking in this evening, running through noon tomorrow. We're also watching the possibility of a stray strong storm or two. The primary risk with any of the stronger storms would be some small hail and maybe some gusty winds. And you see where that's outline is, right along and south of I-44. And that's where our flood watches are, and that's where our heaviest rain is expected to be. All of us will get in on the rain and thunderstorm action, but again, the heaviest rain and possibly a strong storm or two right along and south of I-44 as we head into the overnight hours. We have the possibility of a few stray showers and thunderstorms as we head into the early afternoon, and you see where those chances begin to drop off for us. And then later this evening, right around 6, 7 o'clock, you see those chances really begin to ramp up as we see more showers and thunderstorms start to overspread the area. So we've got some light showers, as you can see, possible by noon, and a few more scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two by early afternoon. We'll get a pause from the activity long enough to get somewhat warm, and then we'll see more showers and thunderstorms rolling across the area as we head into the overnight. More development in southeast Kansas, maybe even some light snow, but that shouldn't really add up to too much. We're looking at maybe a dusting at best. We're also going to have to deal with winds gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour today, tonight, into tomorrow morning. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looks good so far. We've got a few clouds out there, but those clouds will increase. We're at 39, feeling like 32 in Joplin, northeast breeze at 12. Temperatures across the region look like this: 34 in Iola, 43 Miami and Neosho, and 39 in Carthage. As we get our day started, we got windy conditions. Clouds increasing, maybe an isolated shower or two by 11, up to 52. We're looking at highs in the mid to upper 50s with those scattered showers and thunderstorms, breezy conditions this afternoon. And as we head into this evening, more showers and thunderstorms, breezy conditions, heavy rainfall out there, and we'll eventually make it down to a low of 40. That's a check of your forecast. Here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
All right. KFC fans rejoice. The chicken chain is bringing back its Double Down sandwich for a limited time starting March 6th. The bunless sandwich, which consists of 2 fried chicken fillets with cheese, bacon, and sauce in between. First released a decade ago. My kind of sandwich. KFC posted a Twitter poll yesterday with more than 50% of respondents voting yes, with excitement for the return. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe stops by Roaring River State Park near Cassville to kick off trout season. Now, Roaring River State Park has hosted a trout fishing opening day event since 1928. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks visited the state park to check out the sights.
I'm a local here, grew up in Cassville my whole life. This is probably the 20th year that I've been able to come down, and we always fight the crowd just to kind of say that we did it. So didn't fish real long, but went at the buzzer, caught a few, and then yeah, we enjoy the park and just enjoy coming down and seeing everyone. It was pretty good. Didn't catch a limit, but caught 2 pretty quick right off the buzzer, and then just kind of sat back and enjoyed everyone else. So we're hoping to go catch a couple more now.
They were both just sitting there, and we were just jigging it in front of their mouths for a while, and it wasn't really reacting, but finally he just bit it.
It's not all about the fish, it's about seeing people you only see once a year. It's the beginning of spring. It's the opener. It's been a cold winter. Usually it's cold, snowy maybe, but it's just about family and friendship and hanging out at the nice park, catching a few fish, hopefully catching a big one. We always brought our son. He's 22 now. Instead of coming today, he's actually at school teaching. He's teaching math today, and he texted earlier and said, "Mom, this is the first time I've been at school in my life on March the 1st.
It takes place when you're fishing. I was talking to a guy earlier about it, that sometimes the best conversations between 2 men is hello, 2 hours of fishing and silence and goodbye. Just because the peace and tranquility that takes place putting a fishing line in the water, you can't explain it. Just something just settles you. You're watching the fish and the water settles you.
Well, it's such a big event in Cassville, they even canceled school for it. Missouri State Park said there were more than 1,600 tags for adults. For youth, more than 300.
We've got ourselves a couple of alert days for flooding concerns. The flood watches again. Delaware, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Berry, and Lawrence counties kicking in this evening, running through noon tomorrow. We're also watching the possibility of a stray strong storm or two with some small hail and maybe gusty winds being the primary risk, but you see that severe threat right along and south of I-44 where the heaviest rain is expected, and of course where we have those flood watches. We'll all get in on shower and thunderstorm activity. It's just down to the southeast. You're going to get a little too much rain in too little time, so remember, turn around, don't drown. We could see some early afternoon scattered storms across the area, and then the main system will get here overnight, late tonight and overnight, and it's going to drop a lot of rain on us. So let's take a look. Scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms as we head into the early afternoon. We're going to get a break long enough, even though we're cloudy, we'll warm up just a bit, and then the main system gets here and brings in a bunch of heavy rain, showers, thunderstorms, and we'll see additional development across southeast Kansas, and we could even see some light snow up there. We're not anticipating much from this snow at this point, but it could cause a few slick spots, and we'll keep an eye on it in case something changes, but we're not really expecting much in the way of snow. And even if we get snow, look at what happens by Friday afternoon, right behind all of this, in the 50s, in the same areas that are possibly going to get some snow tomorrow morning. So anything we get will not last long. Gusty winds through today, this evening, overnight, and into tomorrow morning. And by tomorrow evening, they are gone, which is going to be good because today and into tomorrow morning, they're going to be gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. The cars are in motion, and that's always a good thing. There's those clouds starting to build in at 7th and range line. We're going to transition to mostly cloudy skies as the morning progresses. 39 in Joplin, feeling like 32. The northeast breeze at 12. Not a bad start for the morning. Chilly, but not bad. 34 Iola, 37 Yates Center, 39 Neodesha, 43 in Miami and Neosho, and 39 as we get the day started in Carthage. So we'll have those gusty winds, increasing clouds, maybe an isolated shower or two by 11, but warming into the low 50s. We're looking at highs in the mid to upper 50s. They may be brief, but we will warm up for a minute. Scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two early this afternoon with those gusty winds. And as we head into this evening, more heavy rain, more showers, more thunderstorms, more gusty winds, and eventually a low of 40. But we head into the weekend. We got 60s, partly cloudy skies, pretty good. 71 Monday, more showers, and as those showers build in next week, our temperatures will begin to drop again. We'll be back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Northern California, Sierra Nevada is struggling to dig out after 12 feet of snow fell in the past week. Up to 2 more feet is in this weekend's forecast. Now, down in the mountains east of Los Angeles, some residents of Lake Arrowhead are trapped in their homes, and there's a state of emergency as supplies run low. 40-year-old Mark Muffley will be in federal court today after he was arrested for allegedly checking a bag full of explosives at a Pennsylvania airport. The flight was bound for Florida. According to court documents, an alert went off during a security screening and the TSA found explosive material. Authorities say a bag tag with the suspect's name on it helped investigators track him down. Alex Murdaugh's defense attorneys will deliver their closing arguments today as his double murder trial wraps up. Prosecutors delivered their closing arguments yesterday. They allege the once prominent South Carolina lawyer killed his wife and son. The case will soon be in the hands of the jury. Murdaugh faces up to life in prison.
We've got alert days for today and tomorrow for flooding concerns in Delaware, Benton, Newton, McDonald, Berry, and Lawrence counties. We're going to have some scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, gusty winds 20, 30 miles an hour, highs in the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, more heavy rain, more thunderstorms across the area, and still gusty as we drop back down to 40 for our low. However, as we look ahead, we've got a pretty decent weekend lining up for us in the 60s, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and then more showers as we head into next week. We'll start warm, and then we'll start to end a bit on the cool side.
All right, well, grab a book and a comfy seat. It's National Read Across America Day.
The National Education Association named March 2nd Read Across America Day in 1998. It also happens to be the birthday of beloved children's author Dr. Seuss.
Well, traditionally, we celebrate by reading some of his books. You can read whatever you want. The day is about the joys of reading and encouraging children to make it a habit. As Dr. Seuss wrote, the more you read, the more things you will know.
In fact, here's a fun fact for you. If you read 20 minutes a day, that equates to about 1.8 million words per year.
Ooh.
So an excellent opportunity.
And if you're a fast reader, that could
be even more. You could double that if you read fast enough. So again, we just want to remind folks, we've got those flood watches out there, alert days today and tomorrow. We're keeping an eye on the heavy rain and the thunderstorms as we head into this afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours. And those flooding concerns, of course, along and south of I-44. So do be prepared for some of that.
Yes, definitely be prepared.
And we'll have the latest, of course, at noon, and of course, we'll have more as the storms roll through tomorrow morning. For now, we thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning today. And as mentioned, we'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.